Hi class, welcome. Here we are with another practice problem for you guys to try on your own to sort of test your understanding before you get to those quizzes that count for points. The question that I've selected this time is question number 11. This is from chapter 4 of our ManQ textbook. You're going to find this on page 88, just so that you guys are all able to follow along and see what we're doing. All right, so this question is going to put together a lot of key ideas from chapter 4, working with supply and demand. The question set up is as follows. We're going to suppose that the price of basketball tickets is determined by market forces, and then currently there's a demand and a supply schedule as follows, and then you guys can see that. I've gone ahead and replicated the supply and demand schedules that are given in the problem right here on the board. So we're going to start off with some easy stuff and then move on to applying some things. So question A says to just draw the demand and supply curves. So that's not too bad at all. All we're going to do is take the information here contained in this table and convert it over to a graph. Right, so in doing so, set up your graph looking just like this. Don't forget the usual practice in economics is to put the price measured vertically and then the quantity here measured horizontally. So you're going to want to do that just like everybody else who's working with economic problems. We should say something about what supply and demand we're considering, right? So this is basketball tickets. Let's put that right up at the top. That way we can keep track of what's going on here. We don't confuse ourselves. All right, so all we're going to then do to draw the supply and demand curves, like I said, this is really straightforward. You're just going to plot these points here. The key column to look at are the ones with price and quantity demanded for plotting our demand curve. All right, so let's start at a pretty high price. I always start high prices and move my way down. You see that if the price of basketball tickets is $20, that's going to correspond with not so many basketball tickets being bought. Quantity of 2,000 tickets, just like so. Right, so that's one data point there that falls on our demand curve. All right, next up, if the price is 16, what do you know? We see that the law of demand holds. People now are interested in buying more basketball tickets. So that price of 16 should correspond here with a quantity of 4,000 and so on. So we'll go a little more quickly for the others. Prices of 12, 8, and 4. We'll link up here quantities. Oops. Keep that going over a little bit. Of 6,000, 8,000, and 10,000 respectively. 6,000, 8,000, 10,000. All right, we have all those points. We connect those dots, and voila, that's our demand. All right. Next thing that we want to do for part A is to draw in here the supply curve. And this is where we're going to start to see something that's a little bit unusual. You guys might remember that the usual way you'll draw a supply curve is being upward sloping to show that when prices get higher, firms are more interested in selling their goods. And in contrast, when prices are really low, they're less inclined to sell because there's less profit to be had. Here, though, we're seeing that the amount of tickets available for sale doesn't change as the price changes. In fact, it's always right there at 8,000. Draw that supply curve as a vertical line. That's supposed to be a vertical line. Right in there, label it with an S, and we're all done. We've drawn now the supply and demand curves. Okay. So the question's asking us here what's unusual about the supply curve, and we can see it really clearly once we draw the picture. If you didn't pick up on it from the table, it's the fact that it's a vertical line. Okay, so why might that be the case? The thing that comes to mind for me straight away is that there's a set number of tickets that are available for sale. So basketball tickets for a college game are different than slices of pizza or cups of coffee in the sense that the school can't easily increase the number of tickets available without going to the great expense of redoing the stadium and things like that. In contrast, lots of businesses can simply hire more workers or stay open longer, or take steps to increase their production when the price justifies it. So that's the unusual thing about the supply curve. All right. Question B here is asking us what's equilibrium price and quantity. I bet you guys got it, right? Key thing about equilibrium is that's going to be the one point where the quantity supplied is exactly equal to quantity demanded. You can see that in the graph as the one price where our lines are touching. So checking this out here, we can see that that's going to correspond with an equilibrium quantity of 8,000 tickets. It lines up with a price of $8 per ticket. And that's consistent with what we saw over there in the table too. So we'd expect here in the outset equilibrium price to be $8 with 8,000 tickets bought and sold. All right, easy so far, right? On to the bit that's maybe a little bit challenging for you, right? So with part C, what we're going to do, it tells us that the college plans to increase enrollment by 5,000 students. Right? So straight away, you should be thinking, okay, there's a difference in now the number of buyers, potential buyers of these basketball tickets. So that's something that affects demand because it's a demand determinant. So we know now there's 5,000 more students, and the question gives us their demand schedule. I'm going to add that extra demand schedule here into our table. Let's do that. Maybe I'll just erase the graph, and we'll just add in that extra demand schedule right there. This was the demand from the old students. Now we're going to have an additional amount of demand from new students. They want to go to basketball games too. All right. And so I'm just replicating now what the question's telling us. They're saying that when the price is 4, the new students are willing and able to buy 4,000 tickets, and then it drops by 1,000 tickets every time. So this should be 3,000. 2,000, 1,000, and 0. Okay, so that's just replicating what the question here is given us. What they're asking us is to figure out the new demand schedule that takes into account both the old students and the new students. And so the process that you're going to want to use is called horizontal summation. You can do this with just 2 different demand curves like this. You can do it with all kinds of demand curves. The process is always the same. What you're going to want to do is to hold the price constant, 4 at 8 at 12, whatever it is, and then sum up the quantities demanded for each and every group, each individual type of demand. So let me just add one more column. Our quantity demanded for all students, to include the old students and the new students. Once you see it done, piece of cake. All right, here's what we're going to do. Price of 4, we see that the old students are willing and able to buy 10,000 tickets. The new ones are willing and able to buy 4,000 more. Add those 2 together for a total of 14,000 tickets demanded at a price of 4. Same thing. So we're holding that price constant for all the different prices that we see, and then summing up the different quantities demanded. So going quickly then, this should be 11,000. That comes from 8 summed with 3. 8,000. This should be 5,000. And this is going to be 2,000. All right. So now then that we have this new demand function, we can take on the question in part C, which is what's going to be the new price and quantity in equilibrium. Sorry about that. I get interrupted in class with my phone. I get interrupted here in the videos with my phone. Okay, so to find the new equilibrium price and quantity, once again, look for the one price where quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. You can see that the quantity supplied is 8,000 available tickets. That's going to take place now. That quantity demanded will be at 8,000 if the price is at 12. Right? So the effect then of new students being added to enrollment is that there's an increase in the demand for these basketball tickets, causing the equilibrium price to rise. There you go.